Welcome to Ancient Echoes, the voyage through time, unraveling the mysteries of our universe as seen through the eyes of our ancestors. Grab your imagination, open your heart, and prepare to be enchanted. Whether you are a seasoned historian, a mythology buff, or someone who just loves a good story, there's a place for all of us here. I am the Wheel of Time, the Kal Chakra, your narrator for these timeless stories. Today, we will continue our journey through the creation saga. Today's episode, The Confused Creator. We will focus on the intricate details that followed the molding of Earth with the body fat of demons Madhu and Kaitaba. If you are surprised and confused as the creator himself, who are these Madhu and Kaitaba? Do listen to our earlier podcast episodes. That will give you a great platform on this journey of creation. Went on to create the other structures of this earth. Confident that there will be no more challenges going ahead, as demons Madhu and Kaitaba are already killed by Hayagriva, Brahma created the first structure on earth, 8 primary mountains. Their names are Sumeru, Kailasha, Malay, Himalaya, Udyachal, Agastya, Suvela, and Gandhamadana. You might be familiar with a few of these names, and some of these names maybe you are hearing for first time. So let's get back to these names and try to connect the dots between the names in the ancient scriptures and stories to the modern day mountains. Let's start with the first one, Sumeru, also called as Mount Meru in various ancient stories. This is considered a sacred mountain in Hindu, Buddhist, and Jain cosmology. The stories also denote Mount Meru as the center of the universe. Some interpretations associate Mount Meru with the current day Pamir mountain range of Central Asia, more specifically in the country of Tajikistan. Kailash. It's same as the Mount Kailash in the modern times, which is located in Tibet. It's considered the abode of Shiva in the Hindu tradition and also has significance in Buddhism and Jainism. Malay, the Western Ghats or the Malay Mountains in South India. Maybe the language of the people living in Malay Mountains also got its name from the name of these mountain ranges. The language we are referring to is Malayalam. Even the people living in that region are called Malayalis. Himalaya. The Himalayan mountain range stretching across northeastern India, Nepal, Bhutan, and Tibet. Udyachal. Uday, Achal. Uday means rise. So Udyachal are the mountains where the sun rises. They are the eastern Ghats of India. Agastya. The Agastya Hills or Agastya Kutam, located in the Western Ghats in southern part of India near the Kerala and Tamil Nadu border, is named after an ancient sage, Agastya. Suvela. Suvela is often identified with a peak on the island of Lanka or modern day Sri Lanka. It is also mentioned in Ramayana, particularly in relation to the battle between Ram and Ravan. Gandhamadan. Gandhamadan is another mythical mountain often associated with the region of Rameshwaram and the parts of Western Ghats in southern India. In Ramayana, it is mentioned as a place from where Hanuman leaps to reach Lanka. These names have both geographical and symbolic significance, and their exact modern equivalents can be varied based on the interpretation. After creating the mountain ranges, Brahma turned to create the 7 seas called as Lavana, Ikshurasa, Sura, Ghrita, Dahi, Kshira and Shashwadu. Now, while these names may not have a direct equivalent and linkage to the modern day oceans or seas we see, but each one of these names have their own significance. Let's go through each one of them and see what do they mean. Lavana means common salt in Sanskrit or a salty taste. Ikshu Rasa. Ikshu stands for sugarcane in Sanskrit and Rasa stands for juice. Thus, Ikshu Rasa is a sea of sugarcane juice. Sura. Sura is often referred to an alcoholic beverage, often made from fermented grains of fruits. Ghrita. Ghrita is the Sanskrit word for ghee or clarified butter, which is commonly used in Indian cooking and all other rituals. Dahi is a very common name in Indian languages which stands for yogurt or curd. Kshira. Kshira is the Sanskrit term for milk, often referring to cow's milk in particular. Shashwadu means very tasty or delicious. Shashwadu refers to something that is highly palatable or has a very pleasant taste. These seas are surrounded by 7 dvipas or islands, or we can also call them as continents, the mega islands. They are Jambu Dvipa, Shaka Dvipa, Kusha Dvipa, Plaksha Dvipa, Krauncha Dvipa, Shalmali Dvipa and Pushkara Dvipa. Let's do the same ritual as we did with the mountains and the oceans, going through each of these names and try to see their relevance and any connection to the modern world. The first one, Jambu Dvipa. Often associated with Asia, particularly the Indian subcontinent. Jambu Dvip is considered as the central continent in the ancient Indian cosmology. It is also believed to correspond to Eurasian landmass. Jambu Dvipa gets its name from Jambul tree. Jambul, often called as Jamun, is a black plum whose trees are found in abundance in the Indian subcontinent. Shakha Dvipa. This is sometimes linked to the regions in Central Asia, parts of Europe and possibly the Mediterranean region. It may also refer to the areas occupied by Shakas or Scythians, hence the name Shakhadvipa. Kushadvipa. Some interpretations associate Kushadvipa with regions in African continent. Plakshadvipa. Plakshadvipa is often identified with Europe or the parts of Eastern Europe in particular. It is described in the text as the land where the plaksha tree grows abundantly. A plaksha tree is actually a fig tree. Kraunchadvipa. Identified with the current day Australia and parts of Southeast Asia, representing a distant and a lesser known landmass. Shalmali Dvipa. This Dvipa is often associated with South America or the western parts of Africa. It is named after Shalmali tree, a type of silk cotton tree, and is believed to be a vast landmass in ancient cosmological descriptions. Pushkara Dvipa. Pushkara Dvipa is sometimes linked to Antarctica and Arctic or the two polar regions. It is described as a sacred land with a single mountain at its center, symbolizing the outermost and the most mystical landmass. Post creation of the continents, seas and the mountains, Creator Brahma turned his attention towards grouping or dividing his creation into 14 lokas or worlds, out of which the first 7 were referred to be the worlds which are above Mount Meru and The next 7 were below Mount Meru. Above and below in this context can be also understood as to the north of Mount Meru and to the south of Mount Meru. First, let's look at the 7 worlds which are to the north of Mount Meru. These are called Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Swarloka, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka and Satyaloka. And the worlds which were to the south of Mount Meru were called Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Patala and Rasatala. These groupings of 7 in the north and 7 in south are also referred quite often as 7 heavens and 7 underworlds. In addition to creating and grouping these world which Brahma has created, he also tried to add some music into this world and thus ended up creating 30 divine ragas or musical compositions as they are called. Each one of them with its unique beauty and mood. Some of the names of these musical compositions are Kanagambari, Bhanumati, Manoranjani, Sindhu Bhairavi, Malahari, Hatakambati, Hindolam, Kiravani, Madhyamavati, Shivaranjani, Kamboji, Mohanam, Bilahari, Hamsadvani, Nagabharanam, Bhavapriya, Mohana Kalyani, Amrita Varshini, Rasika Priya, etc. Now, since time is born and time is existing, for the ease of measurement of time and calculation of time, Brahma established 4 yugas: Satyug, Treta Yug, Dwapar Yug and Kali Yug. Along with the cycles of days and nights, Sandhyas or evenings, Ushas or early mornings, months, seasons and the dates. The dates are as per the lunar calendar. He further grouped the time into 3 kalpas: Brahma, Padma and Varaha, and also the 4 types of pralayas or dissolutions: Nitya, Naimittika, Dvaiparartha and Prakrita. If you're confused by what are these yugas, what are these kalpas and how do they help in measuring and calculating time, it's a very vast subject in itself, and I will dedicate an episode to share with you how this structure of time works. For now, let's carry forward with our storyline. With all the building blocks in place, Brahma now wanted beings to live, or the lives to live in this universe which he has created. With his eyes closed, Brahma created 4 Manas Putras, or sons born from his thoughts. Manas means thoughts, Putras means son, so Manas Putras means sons born from his thoughts. Their names are Shanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana and Sanat Kumara. He instructed his sons to continue the cycle of creation through a procreation process and populate this universe which Brahma himself has created. But surprise, his 4 sons said almost in a unison, "No, we are not going to do as you say," causing Brahma to lose his temper, and he shouted at his sons, "You are refusing your father, you are refusing your creator, how dare you?" Brahma's 4 sons folded their hands and said, "Pardon us, O great Father. We are grateful that you have created us. But we don't want to be a prisoner in this cycle of life and death. Why get confined to something which is so finite? when the whole universe around us is so infinite? We would rather meditate upon something which is permanent, like the superconsciousness, the Parabrahma, and not get involved in this temporary world you have created, which will cause more pains. Looking at their answer, an alarmed Brahma started pleading with his sons to participate in the procreation process for the sake of creation. But his sons were very firm on their decision. They refused. More than propagating, they were interested in interrogating. This caused further anger, and from his fury emerged a celestial being with a blazing red eyes, roaring ferociously. This being demanded, "O Creator, what is my name?" Brahma replied back, "Rudra, I name you Rudra," naming him after the root words for red and roaring, as the being which was created had blazing red eyes and was roaring ferociously. Thus born Rudra. Rudra is an aspect or dimension of Sadashiva, the eternal Shiva, who is neither created nor destroyed, who is above everything else, who is present always, before the creation of the universe, after the dissolution of the universe. Sadashiva incarnated himself in the form of Rudra. Sadashiva is the third of the Hindu trinity. The earlier two we spoke about, Vishnu, the preserver, Brahma, the creator, and Shiva, the destroyer. Shiva is another manifestation of the superconsciousness or the Parabrahma. Coming back, Rudra agreed to Brahma's request to aid in the process of procreation. Immediately, he began creating beings, bringing immense joy to Brahma, who thought the ball of creation had finally started to roll. The moment he was thinking like that, he was shocked to see what Rudra has done. Rudra has created 11 beings. All of them looked like Rudra himself. So 11 Rudras are created. Looking at them, Brahma shouted, "Rudra, stop! You can't do this. You can't create immortals like you. It will tilt the cosmic balance. This is a temporary world, and it needs to have temporary beings, the mortals who will go through the cycle of life, death, and birth. Can you please create mortals for me?" Rudra's creations were all clones of himself, immortals like him. Rudra replied, "O great father, I can only create immortals. If that doesn't fit your plan, I will as well go and meditate, and you carry on with your creation process." As he said, Rudra departed. Brahma was once again left lost and confused, staring at the 11 Rudras and wondering what to do next. All his attempts to set the procreation process in motion had failed till now. The Creator was learning on the job and very clearly struggling at it. While the Brahma was in turmoil and thinking of how to fix this, I, the wheel of time, observed the unfolding of drama, and as the 11 Rudras stood in front of me as a testament to the complexity and challenges of creation, Brahma's task was far from over. Actually, it has not even started. The journey of creation is awaiting for the beings who can come on this earth and start the process of procreation. While all this is going on and the Creator is confused, I got confused with something else, or rather I should say, intrigued. Now we have the 11 Rudras standing in front of us. What are their names? I know, some of you are also thinking that. Let's go through the names of the 11 Rudras. They are Mahan, Mahatma, Matiman, Bhishan, Bhayankar, Ritudwaj, Urtvakesha, Pingalaksha, Ruchi, Suchi, and Kalagni Rudra. In the next episode, we will see how the creator Brahma overcomes this hurdle and sets the ball rolling for the procreation process. A tough one though, I can say. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you liked today's episode. I know it was a bit long because we explained each of the components of the structure which was a part of the creation. But don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share the magic with your fellow story enthusiasts. Until we meet again, keep dreaming, keep creating, and keep sharing your stories with the world. Until then, may the echoes of the ancients guide you on your path.